Hey folks, from a grooming perspective, the best decision I ever made was committing to the bald. I cannot tell you how much time I've spent looking for products for bald men because my face and my head are the same thing, right? What do I need? I need face wash and head wash. I need moisturizer, I need something that helps me not be shiny, and I need sunscreen. That is where Mantle comes in. You got the face wash. Daily cleansing also works on your dome. You got the moisturizer, keeps you looking good. Age defense, use it every day. You got the sunscreen. Best part about the sunscreen, SPF 30, but get this, it's totally clear, like a gel. Brilliant! And then you get these cool little charcoal towels that keep your dome piece from getting too shiny. It rules, guys. Here's the deal they've got going on. Mantle is running 10% off your first order as it is, right? That's from them. Use code TST10 to take an additional 10% off. Code TST10, hit the link in the description, 20% off total at Mantle, and be proud of being bald because it's aerodynamic, waterproof, and you do it at home. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the first ever new Porsche convertible Cabriolet I have ever reviewed. The only one in the past I've ever driven was a modified turbo from BBI. That doesn't really count. So this is the new, brand new 992 Carrera S Cabriolet. Bonus, it's a stick. So in this video, we're going to explore two things, really, because I've driven the Carrera S extensively. I road tripped it. I did Tail of the Dragon. We did it on the track for Performance Car of the Year, Road and Track. In fact, it was my favorite car I drove in 2019 until I drove the Taycan Turbo S. And so now we're going to explore, should you buy a convertible? Why or why not? Should you buy the stick? Why or why not? So this is available in a manual now, no cost option, 3 pedals, 7 speeds. What's cool about the 7-speed in this car is that it's a traditional, H pattern. 7th is up and away. It's not a weird dog leg like Aston Martin did, and it's fully locked out until you're in 5th or 6th gear. That's cool. You're not going to get a misshift going that way, which was one of the problems I had, if you remember, with the Corvettes when they went to 7 speeds. I'd look for 5th and end up in 7th, so this is not a problem. The Carrera S Cabriolet weighs 3,298 pounds. It's like, that's with a manual. So if you want one with PDK, you have to go plus 85. So 3383 with PDK, 3298 with the manual. 85 pounds lighter for the manual, huh? The base price is $126K, and this beautiful tester is equipped with rear steer, leather interior, extended leather with chalk stitching, axle lift, Bose stereo, brushed aluminum trim, sport package, included with manual transmission, PASM, and Gentian Blue is $830. So even though you start at $126, this one is $148. So it's expensive, but that's okay because it's good. The roof is great because it's really well insulated and it actually feels hard like a headliner. So when you're in here, you don't really think about the fact that it's a convertible until you put the top down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 seconds. Same give or take as the McLaren 720 Spider. Let's have a go. With the manual gearbox, you lose a few things. You lose the electronic diff that you need PDK, and you lose the sport response because you're the sport response. Instead, you have a mechanical limited slip differential with Porsche torque vectoring. Here we go. Sport exhaust echoing off the mountain. Oh, who heard that? You don't get that in the coupe. Oh, it does Supra noises. That's brilliant. Oh, already it's so good, you guys. First off, you don't hear the Supra. You don't get that in the coupe. So, points for top down there. I am in admiration of Porsche's ability to have this thing be so rigid from a chassis perspective. No cowl shake, no jiggliness. Feels good, it feels tight. It feels remarkably like the coupe, if I'm honest. The power, 440 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 390 pound-feet from 2,300. Dude, flat torque curve. And what's really interesting is, you know how we all complain about the Cayman GT4's gearing? I think 1 through 6 are the same in this. Certainly, the second, third, and fourth are the same ratios in this as they are in that Cayman GT4. So you still have third gear that goes to 114 miles an hour. The difference is when you've got a pair of turbos on the 3-liter and you've got that fatty torque curve, it fills that gap much better. So that gearing is really hampering the GT4 because of the lack of torque. If you turbocharge it, you're in business. We went from the bumpy road here to the smooth road. Now, I really wanted to start on the bumpy road to check the cowl shake. It's super minimal. Now we're on the smooth road, sport shock setting. We've got P0s, regular P0s, 245s in the front, 305s in the rear, and they're 21s, guys. 21-inch rear tires. Wow. It's fast. It's so quick. I mean, yes, they sell you a Turbo S that has 200 more horsepower than this. With the exception of racing on runways, I genuinely can't fathom what you would do with it. Oh yeah, guys. Regular steel brakes on this car, nothing special, but getting the job done just fine. I love the pedal feel, not too grabby in the city. So even with the 7-speed, your canyon roads are really going to be third and fourth, just a hint of second, same as a racetrack. I bet you 90% of the racetracks in America are all third and fourth gear in this car. And with the power you're working from and the torque, that's not so bad. Turns in beautifully. I mean, it's a little heavier than the hardtop, but without a stopwatch, there's no perception of a loss of performance. You know, the PDK obviously is Porsche's like sort of crowning achievement. It makes anything they put it in into a Porsche. You want to hear it? Here we go. Here's the tunnel run. But I gotta say, it's a tough decision when they make such a good manual also. Second gear from 3. Sounds kind of cool. I like it. Sport exhaust is open, obviously. So, 0.7 of a second quicker to 60 miles an hour for the PDK car, all other things being equal. Which if you're buying a 992 to go drag racing, that might be important to you. Oh. To me, the perception of performance has more to do with the way power is delivered once I'm in the gear. Because I can mentally compartmentalize PDK versus manual. I understand I can only shift so fast. Okay, well, I still have the control. And once I'm in that gear, the performance is really still there. This is good, guys. This is very good. We crap on convertibles as enthusiasts, and in the past that may have been true. It would be categorically unfair to crap on this for being a convertible, especially if you get the stick. Because if you get the stick, you're already conceding the peak possible performance for that variant anyway. You might as well get the convertible, get some sunshine on the dome. Oh, rear steer, there's your turn in. And the fat torque curve means you don't have to rev it as high. You can really keep the engine between 3 and 5 and you could be screaming. On the other hand, like a Porsche, perfectly happy to spend time above 6 and stay there. So you can hear the burbly burble tune in sport mode. Now we're going to go into Sport Plus. Eliminates the burble tune, because it uses all that fuel for go and not for show in Sport Plus. I don't know if there's really a difference, but that's the Porsche ethos. Sport is for show and Sport Plus is for dough. Yo, this thing mobs so fast. I mean, granted, the brilliance of the 4-liter in the GT3 Touring, the perfection of that 6-speed gearbox, if I could, I would. On the other hand, a rear-wheel drive, manual, rear engine, flat 6 car with 440 horsepower and a limited slip diff? Hard to not say sign me up for something like that, huh? That's just delightful. Other things that are great about this car. It's impeccably well made and in extremely good taste. There's nothing about it you could say is gaudy, over the top, or unnecessary. Now, you could spec one that way, but it doesn't have to be that way. And if you keep the options pretty reined in, and this car is pretty reined in, you end up with a classy automobile. Can do anything. It's a great daily. And on that note, should you buy the stick, given that PDK is so good and that traffic is a real thing? Yes, with one exception. Wait, hang on. You know, the throttle response when you get back on it after a shift, it's not what you get out of a GT3, but if you learn to throttle it as if you're managing a torque wave rather than you're managing a surgical tool, it's just a slightly different way to move your right foot. It's a little less of the motorsport theater. Still really fun though. Now, should you get the stick? Yeah, you should. And here's why. There's only like 30 cars left that you can get with a stick, right? And when a company goes through the trouble of not just making a stick, but making it very good, with really good engagement, a communicative but not overweight clutch, a direct but not heavy shifter, you should reward them, and then they don't charge you any money for it. They make it a zero cost option. You should reward them for that by buying it. You know, I have back problems and I have knee problems, and my old 911 can be a pain in traffic. This one's not. This thing is fingertips and toes. My feet aren't tired after driving this around all day. My hands aren't tired. And so, if your life is exclusively traffic, I get it. If you want to support Porsche's latest and greatest technology, I get it. But there are very good arguments for both the convertible and for the stick. I would definitely get the stick. The shifter's really nice. It's very direct. Not quite as perfect as Cayman GT4 6-speed or the GT3 Touring 6-speed. But it's as good as I've ever seen a 7-speed. And it's better than almost everything else out there. This thing rules. It's so easy and accessible, but it doesn't feel digitized. It doesn't feel falsified. It makes me feel like a hero, but also warns me that I'm not actually a hero. It's really got the right amount of engagement, pace, feedback, and dampening, refinement. Because you want some of that too. I don't want a pseudo race car for the street as a daily driver, and I see Carrera S as sort of an ultimate daily driver. Beautiful. Open up the tap. Yeah, this thing is real fast, guys. And let's not forget, there's potential on the table. If you were to buy a manual transmission rear-wheel drive Carrera S convertible, you could then go somewhere like a BDI or a Sharky or any one of these guys, even a Cobb. And my friend Tim got a tune on this very automobile, but a hardtop, and he gained 100 horsepower in torque with just software. Now that is a proposition I could get behind. The balance and pace is really extraordinary. The quality of ride it delivers on a bumpy road, as well as the chassis rigidity for a convertible, is very, very good. And even though Porsche makes what most people would consider to be the best automatic gearbox in the business, man, what do you do when they also make the best manual? That's a tough call, huh? I wonder if it'll do a burnout. I haven't done a burnout in a long time. Let's try. You know what? Let's try before we get out of here. We'll go Sport Plus. PASM off. There's a straightaway right here. We'll try it. We're full off. I haven't done a burnout in a long time. Wouldn't that be fun if I could end this video with a burnout in a 911? It's not really something I've thought about in a while. Then again, look at this turning radius. Look, rear steer, just within the lane here. Isn't that rad? Righto. Oh, will it not let me? No. So we learned two things there. One, it won't let me do a burnout. There's no such thing as full off. Well, maybe for drifting, but definitely not for doing burnouts, because in neutral, it won't let you rev it past 3.5. That's probably ultimate launching revs. But then if you do stall it as a result of trying a burnout, it starts back up again on its own, so you don't embarrass yourself too badly. Let's just try the launch. Wow. For a manual transmission vehicle, that is a spectacular launch control system. That's really, really good. It holds it, and it really allows you to know what's going on, modulating the throttle, or I'm sorry, modulating the clutch while holding your left foot down. That was very cool. All right. I'm glad we didn't end the video on a downer, ended on an upper. All right, well, thank you to Porsche for letting me have a go in this for a few days. It's really been an interesting and rewarding experience. And should you buy the manual? Absolutely. Should you buy the convertible? Maybe. If you're not going to go full GT3, this thing is rad. I get it. I totally get it.
You know what, guys?
I was driving home from making this video and I realized that I told you I was going to give you a bunch of reasons to buy this car and then a reason not to. And I forgot to give you the reason not to. Here it is. The cup holder. The cup holder's fine if you don't have a shifter. If you do, it's a bit of a problem. The old cup holder was up here. You can use the passenger cup holder, but yeah. So there's your reason not to, and now this video is complete.